can I just say one thing firstly? I love the name Eat Sleep Boxing Repeat.
Hello and welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. It's me, Paul. I'm delighted to be joined by Niall. We are in preview mode, reviewing the big fight happening in New York at the MSG Theatre, an IBF super lightweight title fight between the champion Richardson Hitchins and the challenger George Kambosos Jr. Thanks for jumping on, Niall. Appreciate your time as always, guys. If you're watching this video and not doing so already, hit that subscribe button. Why are you not doing so already? All of your boxing needs under one roof, including previews, fight reviews, big fight breakdowns, betting tips, interviews, all of the above, and plenty more too. So please do check out the channel and hit that subscribe button. Niall, it's a pleasure to chat to you as always. As I said, world title action this weekend in New York. Give me your first and foremost, just give me your thoughts and your predictions as to how you see this fight playing out, and yeah, your general thoughts on this matchup.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to this fight. I'm a Kambosos fan. I like Kambosos and Hitchins. Hitchins seems to be improving fight by fight as well. He caught a lot of flack for his performance against Gustavo Lemos, and then he put in an excellent performance against Liam Parrow to win the title. I think he's really good fundamentals, solid, technically solid fighter, quick. I actually picked Parrow on that one to beat Hitchins, to be honest with you. So that was a surprise for me. And then you've got Kambosos. Kambosos he's had a strange career, to be honest, hasn't he? He's a good fighter. I always kind of see him as a really good well-rounder, all-rounder. He doesn't do anything particularly too special, but he does everything quite well. And yeah, you've had the big night against Teofimo Lopez, but then he's had a couple of losses then to no shame, Devin Haney, Lomachenko, but he's looked underwhelming too. He didn't set the world alight last time out. He looked poor against Maxi Hughes. So he's had a strange career, but it's one of those that if Hitchins isn't on kind of on top of his game, Kambosos can definitely come in and spring an upset, no doubt about it. But I just think Hitchins would be too slick, too kind of classy for Kambosos for me. I think he wins a decision. I'd be impressed if he stopped Kambosos. I think he wins a points decision against Kambosos to retain his title here.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting one. I think well, obviously a new weight, I suppose, for Kambosos after that one fight there last time. And as you mentioned, mate, he's clearly capable of the upset. We've seen that before. Nobody really gave him a sniff against Teo Lopez, especially after what Lopez did to Lomachenko. But then, as you mentioned, since then, like Lomachenko stood him on his head, stopped him. He barely lost a round over the two fights with him. Maxi Hughes arguably beat him, and he didn't look great on his super lightweight debut last time either. But I suppose he's a big name, so that's probably why he's getting the shot at becoming a two-weight world champion. And as you mentioned, mate, I don't have anything against George Kambosos as a fighter. I think he is limited in certain areas. I just think that Hitchins is levels above. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't firmly believe Richardson Hitchins is to be like is this the guy at 140 potentially. Um, but I think he's capable of beating Kambosos, and I think he will beat him. As you said, mate, I do agree. Do I see it being a stoppage? Probably not. Hitchens not the biggest of puncher. So in all likelihood, I see this going the full 36 minutes with Hitchens getting his hand raised via unanimous decision. So that's kind of where my head's at. So I do agree with you, mate. I would be impressed if he was to stop Kambosos, of course. As the only man that can do that, so has done that so far is Lomachenko, and that was laid on. So yeah, I would be impressed, but we shall see, mate. I kind of following up from that, IBF belt, it belongs to Hitchens. You've got Teo Lopez, who's got one of the belts. Gary Antoine Russell, of course. Alberto Puellos of this world. All those kind of guys. Where do you rank Richardson Hitchens at super lightweight in terms of like, do you have him as the strongest champion? Do you maybe have some fighters who don't yet have belts, but you think that they would beat him if they were to fight him? Where do you kind of see him ranked right now at 140?
Yeah, it's a very interesting one. As I say, I really do rate him as a fighter. But the champions now for me at 140 are very strong. I definitely don't have him as the strongest champion. I think that belongs to Teofimo Lopez. I think Teofimo Lopez, when he's on it, I know it's a big if, but if he's on top form, like we have seen in the past, I don't think pretty much anybody can beat Teofimo Lopez, to be honest with you. And then you've got the other two champions. You've got Gary Russell, who winning the title last time out. I think he looked phenomenal against Valenzuela. I think it was a punch perfect performance. I watched that fight at all hours of the morning. I think it was in Las Vegas, and he was absolutely outstanding from start to finish. So if Gary Russell can pull those performances out of the bag, I don't think the likes of a Richardson Hitchins can beat him, to be honest with you. And then you've got Alberto Puello. Alberto Puello for me is one of the most underrated champions, probably in boxing at the minute. To be honest, I don't know, is that too strong a claim? But I really rate Puello. I think he's really awkward, rangy, powerful, southpaw as well, of course, and he proved his own worth when he beat Gary Russell. He has a big fight now against Subriel Matthias, which I think he wins. But yeah, I think so. If I had to rank the champions, I'd probably put Richardson Hitchins last on the list, but that sounds a bit disrespectful. But it's taking nothing away from Richardson Hitchins. As I say, the champions at 140 now I think are excellent, all of them. So yeah, I'd probably put Hitchins bottom of the pile, but that's no shame in Richardson Hitchins. It's really not. I just think the other belt holders now are absolutely outstanding, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, yeah, great analysis, mate. I think it's an exciting division, I suppose. I mean, I think obviously Lopez is the household name. The other three champions aren't so much. Um, but that doesn't mean that they're not world class and arguably could be better. Could they beat Lopez on their day? Some of them might be able to. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Lopez vacates that 140, the WBO belt, with obviously his reported um catchweight fight at 145 with Devin Haney, or whether he keeps the belt for them coming back down. Who knows? But yeah, I think an interesting one, mate. I'm gonna follow up with a question that you won't have prepared for. So brace yourself. But I just thought I'd throw it in there and kind of thought of it on the spot here. Um, we've got a couple of good Brits at 140. So just tell me that if they were to fight Richardson Hitchins next, how does the fights between Hitchins go against Lateral, Dalton Smith, and Adam Azim?
Ooh, that is a big question, to be honest with you. Yeah, quality fighters. Jack Catterall, of course. I think Jack Catterall gets kind of underrated due to his style. But Jack Catterall has such an awkward style for anybody. Um, I could definitely, I could definitely see him kind of frustrating Hitchens with that awkward kind of slippery nature of how he fights. Of course, has a big fight himself coming up against Harlem Eubank, which if he comes through that, another world title crack against Hitchens would be good to see. But I'd probably pick Catterall there, and then you've got Adam Azim, Dalton Smith. Adam Azim for me is really maturing with every performance. His last couple of fights against, okay, O'Hara Davis, not the strongest opponent, but Sergey Lipnets, I think he looked composed. He looked so mature. He looked spiteful. He looked disciplined. I think when Adam Azim's on it, he can beat anybody. I really do, and I definitely think he could beat Richardson Hitchens. Um, it's so hard to pick, though. It's so hard to pick. And Dalton Smith, I think Dalton Smith is the best Briton at 140, the best Brit at 140 at the minute. I think he's destined for the top. I really do. I know he caught a lot of flack for, well, his last couple of opponents and his performance against Matteo German last time out, but I think the aggression, the IQ, the heavy hands. Yeah, I think he beat Richardson Hitchens again. So I'm picking all the Brits to beat Hitchens, but again, it sounds like I'm being totally disrespectful to the American, but that says more about how much I rate the other three that you mentioned, as opposed to
Yeah,
how much I don't rate Hitchens, because I do think Richardson Hitchens is a good fighter. I really do.
yeah, mate, for sure. Can't really add much more myself. I was hoping you were going to maybe say that Hitchins beat them all, because I know I would have disagreed, but I actually back all three to beat Hitchins. And as you said, it's no disgrace, it's no disrespect on Hitchins at all, but it just shows you how strong the 140 division is on UK shores right now. But yeah, maybe they'll all fight each other in the future. We shall see. But Niall, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for your insight and analysis on this preview for Richardson, Hitchins, George Kambosos Jr. Guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know in the comments your thoughts. And yeah, how you see this one going and what everything we discussed. And if you're not doing so already, hit that subscribe button. All of your boxing needs under one roof. Niall, pleasure as always, mate. See you soon.
Cheers. Take care.